Hello everyone, Angela Westland here, independent demonstrator in Australia. I've had a few requests just to show you how to make these pinwheels that have on my card here that I posted to my blog a few days ago. So to get started, I'll just go through this card with you. I've used the Designer Series paper, the free one from the Celebrations catalogue. It has 6 different colours in the pack. It's a full 12-inch by 12-inch pack. Now on one side with the colours you will get this swirl pattern, and then on the other side you'll get the plain colour. So it's really good to coordinate these. And this colour in particular that I'm showing you now is Blushing Bride, but there are 6 different colours. As you can see on my card, I've used about 5 of the colours out of the pack. So I've also used as my base on this particular card the Crumb Cake, and then the Perfectly Artistic Designer Series paper. I've also used, as in my sentiments here, and underneath my sentiment, I've used the 2-inch by 1 3/8 inch oval punch, and then on top I've also used the large scalloped oval punch. I've then, inside the center here of my pinwheel, I have used the antique brads. I find the antique brads are really good for making these pinwheels because you will need to put some sort of embellishment in the center of your pinwheel before putting it on your card. I've stamped the Happy Birthday in the color Crush Curry, and the stamp set I've used that I've got that Happy Birthday from was one of the other free items in the Small Celebrations catalogue, which is Sky is the Limit. So we'll just put this card aside and we'll just start on this next card. So I've done a couple in advance so that you can see it there, and I've actually put buttons from the Regals collection in the middle of these ones. The Designer Series paper I've used is from the Love Blossoms paper pack. It comes in a 6-inch by 6-inch size and is quite thick. It has so many gorgeous designs in there. You get 4 designs of each one, 4 pages of each design, and they're double-sided, of course. Very good they are to be used for anything like this, or they're a great size for your card making. So to start with, you will need a 1-inch square punch, which you can find that on the annual catalogue on page 166. So to get started, you will need to cut out 8 square punches. So you're going to have 8 of these. So I have folded some prior to the video so it doesn't go too long for you. So first off, once you have punched out your 8 square punches, then you have to decide which side you want your pinwheel to be. So I've chosen the red flower side. So to start folding your square, I'm going to turn it over because I want my red to be on the outside. So I turn it over. Now I have my square. Now I'm going to be folding this this side over to this side, opening it out, and then folding this side over to this side, opening it out once again, and then folding from this corner to this corner, opening it, and then folding it from this corner to this corner. So I'll just do that quickly for you. So just folding firstly over to that corner, then I'm going to open it out and fold it over to that corner. Then I'm going to open it, and now I need to fold it like a triangle from corner to corner, opening it out, turning it around, and doing the other side. And you will need your bone folder to get really good crisp edges on these folds. So once you've done that, you open up your square, and you grab the two sides, and you'll find as you push in, I'll just get it in the right way, as you push in, it will just automatically go into that shape. Then you just need to push it down so it's like that, and you've already done your first one. Now we need 8 of those. So I've already done 8, but I'll just do it once more for you. So you've got your square, you're going to fold it over to that side, opening it out, then folding it over to that side, opening it out, folding it over to, so it's a triangle, opening it out, turning it round. And the more of these that you'll do, the easier it'll become. Then you just need to grab the 2 corners, and you can see it already wants to fold that way for me. So then, but it's really important that you do use your bone folder to really crease those edges, which I've already done off camera. So, but as I fold each fold, I use my bone folder. Now you should have 8 of those. So what I recommend gluing the pinwheels together with is the fine tip glue, as you only need a really little bit of glue as we're gluing them, and if you put too much glue on there, it's just not going to work. And you can see how they're open. And just one other point, all these points, so if you look at just 2 of them together there, these points here are going to be the center of your pinwheel as we assemble it. So just keep remembering that that has to go into the same direction each time. So what we do is we're just going to open that up a little bit like that, and I just like to put mine in so I know where it's sitting like that. Okay, so with the fine tip, just squeeze a little of the glue out on your grid paper first, and then I'm just going to put a little bit, and just have a cotton bud handy, because I find if I have too much it won't stick, so just dab it with the cotton bud. And then I'm going to slide this first one, sorry I'm out of focus, just bring the points together, sliding it in together, and then just holding it down. And I just like to hold it with my bone folder, just for a couple of seconds for it to take. We can always add a bit of glue later. Okay. Then we just the same again, just open that out and putting your glue in there. Just dabbing a bit, and it helps spreading it out too when you use the little bud. Now I'm ready to put my next piece in. So you can see how that's closed, that's open. So we want to put the open piece in there and making sure that that point is as close to the center as possible. So you'll see as we go, so the point, that's where the point was, up there. So you can see it's starting to form the pinwheel. So like on these little bits here, you'll see like how it's lifting up there. We just put a little dab of glue under there and hold that down. If you just put a little bit, it sticks very quickly. I'm getting a bit of glue on me. Now we want to open that one up again and just put the glue inside both sides. Just love my cotton buds. Then we're going to open this up. That's it closed. We're going to open it up and slide it in so that the point is coming right to the center there, and then just holding it together with my hands, and then my bone folder, just pressing down with my bone folder. Alright, stuck down nicely. So the next one, I've only got 3 to go. Just your bit of glue in there. I have tried using the multi-purpose glue, but it doesn't hold as well as this fine tip glue. And then putting my point as close to the center as I possibly can. Holding that down. And you can see we're forming our pinwheel now. I've only got 2 left to go. Then just turning it. So we're going to glue in here again. When we get to the last one, that's the tricky part. So just in there. And we just push that in so you can see I'm putting the point right into the center there, so it's snug. The more that go on, the trickier it gets a bit. So just hold that down for a couple of seconds. Now you can see, if you can see, but this one, sorry, has lifted up. So the ideal is I want it all to be sitting flat. So any that have lifted up like this, all you have to do is put a little bit of your glue underneath and hold it down for a couple of seconds with your bone folder. And that one's just lifted up a little bit there, so just a little bit of glue and then down with your bone folder. So now we're ready to put on the last one. Now it's a bit different putting on the last piece. So you've got your last piece, you've got this opening this side, and this opening this side, exactly the same. So what you need to do, because you've got that point that has to go right into the center like that. So you're just going to slip it on one side. See? So I've just slipped it in one side, and then I'm just going to lift this open where I had that flap, and then just slide it in. Alright, so I've slid it in, so you'll see that's the pinwheel. So what we need to do now is just lift the flaps, just a little bit of glue, hold it down, and then on that side just lift that flap back, bit of glue. There's a bit too much glue there. Get that off with my cotton bud and just hold it down. Now if you find you've got any flaps that have lifted at the end, all you've got to do is lift that flap, pop a little bit of glue under it and hold it down. Now I like to turn it over to the back. I've noticed there's a little bit of, it might be a couple of flaps that just need gluing down. There's another one. So I'm just going to lift that flap, hold it down with my bone folder, and put it over the right way. See how you want it to sit? I'll just zoom in for you so you can see. It will go flat once we've put it to our card. It's just sitting up a little bit at the moment. So just keep pushing down and the glue will take it, you know, till it's as flat as you want it to be. Now for this one, I did use a brad on the previous card, but on this one I'm just going to glue a button on top of there. Once again, I'm going to be using the fine tip glue. I just find it's really good because less is better. Like if you have a lot of glue on them, they're not going to stick for you. So I'm just going to pop that on there. Try and get my fingers off before it, just put it into the position I want it in. Just use the point and just hold it. Oh gee, I'm shaking a bit. Just hold it down. Just a few seconds. Hopefully it will stay there. So that has stayed there, which is awesome. So that's our first pinwheel. I'll just zoom out. Right. So as I said, I went ahead and made 2 off camera. So I've got my 3 pinwheels. So now we're going to assemble the card. Now to assemble the card, you will need an 8.5 inch by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock and score that at 4 1/4 inches. I've used real red, so then I fold that, and I've obviously already used my bone folder, always use my bone folder like that. Then for my first layer from the Love Blossoms Designer series pack, and I've used the same as I've used for the pinwheels, so that needs to be 5 1/4 by 4 inches. Now normally I would use the multi-purpose liquid glue because it gives me a few seconds if I don't have it on straight, but for the purpose of the video I will just use some snail just on all 4 sides. And this is the trick, is just lining that up on my grid paper. If you line it along one of the lines of the grid paper, and then hopefully it's going to be straight. Just hold it up until you're sure that that's going to be straight. That's nice and straight. So we have our first layer. I just have to zoom out a little bit for you there. Right? Now I have a panel which is the same paper, but I'm going to flip it over and you put a side panel down there. So that piece is 1/2 inch wide by 4 3/4 inch long, for those who like to have the measurements. So I'll just put a little bit of snail down both sides and a bit up the top and bottom, and make sure my card's opening the right way, placing it on my grid line again, and I'm using the opposite, remember, so just see where I would like it and that it's straight, pretty equal at the top and bottom, and then just down like that, very easy. So then we've got that. So now I'm just going to glue the 3 pinwheels on the card like that. You can see it's quite effective. So for this, it might just go off camera a little bit, but for this I'm going to use the snail on the back of the pinwheel. So just put some snail on the back of the pinwheel, and just have to work out which way you want it to sit on your card, but then you need to make sure each pinwheel is sitting the same. So just put a bit of snail on this one. And then I want that one to be about there. Just press it down, then turn that over, just a bit of snail, I don't want it lifting off, and then my final pinwheel on the card there. So it is quite a really nice effect, and with stamping up everything coordinates, so my job's very easy. So now we're just going to use some punches. We've already used the 1 inch square, remember, to make the pinwheels. Now we're going to use the 2 inch by 1 3/8 oval. So I'll just put this aside a minute. So we have to punch out two, or well, I've punched out two of the ovals, 2 inch by 1 3/8, one of the large scallops, and one of the 3/4 by 7/8 oval, and I've stamped that with a sentiment from the Tiny Teeny stamp set, just to save time for you. So how I put this together on my card, so I'm going to just glue it, so not so it's right on top, so it's just showing a little bit of that designer series paper, and then I'm going to glue that one on top of there, and then that one's going to go in the middle like so. So I'll just do that quickly. Just there. Right, just line it up with my grid lines. So I'm just going to stick that one on there. Then the little scalloped one, pick that up, just pop that on, so you're still showing a little bit of red there, and it's just coming off this side. And then you could actually even add that with dimensionals, but just for the video I'll just quickly glue that in the center. And this isn't off centered, so it's not quite centered, so that's like that. So I like layering, so you don't have to layer it. And then I just bring it back over to my card. Now I'll just see whether I want to have it. Yes, I'm going to have it there because I'm going to put some embellishments up here. Okay, so just put a fair bit of snail on the back of there. Bring my card over for you so you can see. Right, then I'm just going to put it just over there a little bit, sliding it in so it's coming out there. So that's all very nice. So I've done that. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some buttons down the side there. Now these buttons are, as I said before, they're from the Regals collection. You get quite a lot of buttons in that. You get all different sizes, as you'll see. Now I've just used the fine tip glue. As I say, I find less is better, just holding it in place for a little bit. Then I've got two smaller ones just to go. So I'll just, so you can see, oh sorry, it's a bit hard with the red, but I'm just putting a dab of glue on them. There. Then I'm just going to, at the top here, so the buttonholes are going the same way, just holding that in place, hoping it won't. It will give you that little bit of time to twist your button if, like me, I didn't have the hole going the same way. And then I'm just going to put my third button down there. And if you wanted to, you could even put some pearl jewels in the middle of these if you wanted to. And that's our card finished. I'll just zoom out a little bit so you can see. And that's our first card finished and my first tutorial. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Until next time, bye.